Right now in your kitchen, there is a small metal box that heats your leftovers in 90 seconds. You do not think twice about it. You press two buttons and walk away. But every year, thousands of people end up in emergency rooms because of this exact machine, and almost none of them saw it coming. You assume the danger is radiation. It is not. Modern microwaves are sealed so tightly that the energy inside barely escapes at all. The real danger is something far stranger. It is hiding in the physics of the water itself. Here is what actually happens. When you heat a cup of water in a microwave, something unusual can occur. The water can pass its boiling point without a single bubble forming. Scientists call this superheating. The water looks calm, it looks safe, but it is holding far more energy than it should, waiting for the smallest disturbance to release it all at once. You reach in, you add a spoonful of instant coffee, and in that instant, the water erupts, not gently, violently. Boiling liquid can leap upward in a fraction of a second, hitting your face, your hands, your eyes. Emergency rooms see this injury often enough that it has its own name. Doctors call it microwave superheating burns, and it happens most often to people who consider themselves careful. Why does this happen at all? Water needs something to boil around. A rough surface, a tiny air bubble, a scratch in the mug. In a pot on a stove, all of that exists naturally, but a smooth microwave-safe mug, heated in short, even bursts, can deny water that surface entirely. The water becomes a coiled spring, and you become the trigger. Dr. Louis Bloomfield, a physicist who has studied kitchen hazards for years, has explained this exact effect to journalists more than once. He describes superheated water as deceptively still, calm on the surface, unstable underneath. It is one of the few places in your home where physics can genuinely surprise you with pain. But superheated water is only the beginning. Think about metal. You already know not to put a fork in the microwave. But do you know why? Metal reflects microwaves instead of absorbing them. In most cases, this simply confuses the machine. But if the metal is thin, curved, or pointed, something else happens. Electrons pile up at the sharp edges. The air around them ionizes. You get a spark, sometimes several sparks, sometimes a small blue arc jumping across the inside of the box. A twist tie left on a bread bag, a strip of foil folded over a plate, a gold rim on a decorative dish. Any of these can start it. Most of the time, the spark fizzles out and nothing happens. But leave the machine running, walk into another room, and that spark has time to catch. Fires that start this way spread through the plastic interior of a microwave in under a minute, and they release fumes that are genuinely toxic to breathe. Here is the deeper pattern. You trust your microwave the same way your ancestors learned to trust fire. Contained, predictable, safe, as long as you follow the rules. But fire and microwaves share something important. Both convert invisible energy into heat, and both punish carelessness instantly rather than gradually. Now think about something sealed, an egg still in its shell, a sausage still in its skin, a sealed jar of sauce. What do these all have in common? A barrier holding pressure inside. When you microwave a whole egg, the water inside the yolk heats and turns to steam. That steam has nowhere to go. Pressure builds inside the shell the same way it builds inside a sealed can on a stovetop, and it does not always release when you expect it to. Sometimes the egg looks fine the moment you take it out. Then a few seconds later, when you touch it with a fork, it detonates. Doctors have documented facial injuries and corneal burns from exploding eggs, and the pattern is always the same. The egg looked done. It was not done. It was pressurized. You are not imagining a rare freak accident here. This is common enough that food safety agencies specifically warn against microwaving eggs in their shells, and packaging on sausages and hot dogs often includes a small instruction to pierce the skin first. That single sentence exists because someone, somewhere did not do it, and the result made it into a hospital report. There is one more layer to this, and it is the one people fear the most, even though it is by far the least likely to hurt you. Radiation leakage. Microwaves work by exciting water molecules inside your food until they vibrate and produce heat. That energy is dangerous if it touches living tissue directly. which is exactly why the machine is built with a metal mesh screen inside the door and interlocking safety switches that shut the unit off the instant the door opens. In a properly functioning microwave, essentially none of that energy escapes. But properly functioning is doing a lot of work in that sentence. A door hinge that is bent, a seal that has worn thin after years of slamming it shut, a mesh screen with a crack in it. Any of these can allow a small amount of radiation to leak out. The World Health Organization has stated that a damaged microwave can pose a genuine health risk if used repeatedly at close range, particularly to the eyes, which have very little blood flow to dissipate heat and repair damage. This is why commercial kitchens are required to leak test their microwaves regularly, and why replacing, rather than repairing, an old or damaged unit is the safer choice. None of this means the machine sitting in your kitchen is a ticking bomb. It means the danger was never really about the invisible waves people assume. It was about the everyday habits layered on top of them. The mug you have used for years without a single scratch inside it, the twist tie you forgot was still on the bag, the egg you assumed would just be an egg. Here is the part that should genuinely make you pause. You do not fear your microwave because your brain was never built to recognize this specific kind of threat. Evolution prepared you to flinch from fire, from height, from the sudden movement of a predator in tall grass. It did not prepare you for a box that heats water from the inside out without a single flame, without a single sound, without a single visible sign of danger until the moment it is too late. That is the real story here. Not that your microwave is secretly deadly. It is that modern life is full of small, quiet risks your instincts were never designed to catch. You trust the beep at the end of the countdown the same way your ancestors trusted the silence after a storm. But silence is not the same as safety. It never was. So tonight, when you reach in to grab your coffee, tap the mug against the counter before you touch the liquid itself. Pierce the egg before you heat it. Check the door seal on that old microwave you have had since college. These are small, almost forgettable habits. But they exist because somewhere, someone learned this lesson the hard way so that you would not have to. And that small metal box on your counter, the one you never think twice about, will keep doing exactly what it has always done, heating quietly, waiting for you to make the one mistake it is patiently designed to punish. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future uploads. And before you go, check out the next video on your screen. You might discover something even more interesting.